Hey everybody, this is your full body functional strength workout. In terms of equipment today, you are gonna need a set of medium weights, a set of heavier weights, and then a bench, ideally one that is adjustable, but if you don't have an adjustable bench, something like the back of a chair or the side of your sofa is gonna work perfectly today. We do have a warm up, so let's make our way down to the mat to get that guy started. All right, so our warm up is actually gonna start with our bench and then a medium weight. Something around 10 pounds is gonna be plenty here. I'm gonna show you first, and then we're gonna perform this for about 30 seconds on each side. We're doing a bench supported scap car. So all that means is that we're gonna be holding our weight and we're making some nice controlled circles through that shoulder socket. So what we don't want is for the bicep to start to get involved by bending at that elbow. So let's grab our weight of choice. I'll give everybody a second to get there. I'm gonna start with my left arm because it's my non-dominant, and we're gonna take 30 seconds on each side, about 15 seconds circling through each direction. So let's go for it. So we're gonna start by circling backwards, really thinking of leading through the shoulder, not the elbow. So if your elbow continues to bend, it might be a sign that your weight's too heavy. So I said about 10 pounds, you might need a little bit lighter than that. Let's switch directions, up and down and forward. We got 10 more seconds before we simply go to the other side. Finish out your last circle. And we'll flip it around, going into that opposite side. So I'm gonna switch to my right, switching around on my bench, and let's go for it, 30 seconds right here. So we're coming up and back, again, really leading through that shoulder socket, resisting letting the elbow get involved. And let's switch directions of our circle. Finish out your last cycle here and relax. So what we're gonna do from here is come into a Copenhagen plank. So we are gonna need our bench. I'm just gonna square mine off. No weights are needed here. And we're gonna move through this guy. So for this variation, we've got knee and ankle supported. So the entire lower leg. If you're really advanced and you wanna go for a straight leg variation instead, you're more than welcome to. So let's all find this starting position. Top leg, we've got the entire lower limb on top. We're gonna pinch the bench with our bottom leg. In this position, top arm to the ceiling. We swipe it forward, and then we come back to reset. Again, we swipe it forward, we come back to reset. If you have space under your bench and you want to lengthen that bottom leg, you're more than welcome to. And again, you can do this from a longer lever with that top leg as well, okay? Lots of variations to progress this over the next 4 weeks. You've got less than 10 seconds left, and then we're just gonna hop over to the other side, 30 more seconds. And bring it down, very nice. All right, I'm gonna flip around so you don't have to look at my butt the entire time. And we're gonna go 30 more seconds on that second side. So let's get it set up. Top leg is supported. We lift up, and 30 here, reaching forward and out. Got no direction. I need direction. Just got my vamp. Take a bite of my bad girl. Take a bite of me, boy. Finish out your last rep and bring it down. Final exercise. We're going for some single leg hip thrusts. So we're gonna come into the side of our bench. If you're not a hip thrust person, you can always do a single leg elevated bridge instead. We're gonna go for 10 reps here. Last rep, we're holding for 10 seconds. So let's get our shoulder blades on top of the bench, elbows supported. Find your full hip extension to start, and let's lift up the right leg. From here, we scoop it down and back, and up. Inhale down, exhale to push. Again, we're going for 10 total, and then a 10-second hold at the top. 2 more. Hold this last one up. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, hips up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, take a shake. We're gonna go right to the other side. So hips lift up, left leg in our tabletop. Here we go. Inhale down and back, drive into that glute. 10 reps here. We'll meet for that hold. Here we go, hold this last one up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, use that glute, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parachute it down. Great work. So that's the main part of our warm up. We're gonna move into a little power work, get the hips fired up, and you're gonna need either a medium or heavy weight depending on your strength. I would grab both so we can play around, kettlebell or dumbbell, but we will need standing. So moving into a little bit of power work, we're gonna work through a kickstand clean. I'm gonna show kettlebell and dumbbell variation. And again, the goal here is to find something that's heavy, but not so heavy that it slows you down. So if this is your first week in this block, I would say take it a little lighter. You can add weight as we go week to week, okay? So what we're gonna do is start with the right side. Right leg is back. We take a hinge. As we come up, we're gonna use that glute. Clean it up to the shoulder, reset down. If you're using a dumbbell, mechanics are just a little simpler in terms of where the bell's going. Palm is gonna be neutral. We pull punch, reset, all right? We're gonna go for 3 on each side. So again, we're trying to identify a weight that feels heavy, but not so heavy that it slows us down. Here we go, 3 on the right. So we got right arm, right leg staggers back. We take our hinge, explode through the hips, punch the shoulder, full reset before we come back down. 2 more. Last one. And we'll go right to the other side. So left arm, left leg staggers back. Here we go, lead with those hips. Inhale down, pull punch, reset. 2 more. Give me 1 more on this side. And take a minute. Great job, everybody. All right, so again, we're gonna be doing this for 4 weeks if you're in the functional strength program. So you're gonna have a chance to add weight week by week. This will stay constant. What I want you to really focus on, again, aside from our speed, let's really start to make sure that lat is engaged on the way down. So a lot of times kettlebell or dumbbell, what I see getting out of our clean or erect position is that, okay? So I just want you to reverse the path. All we're doing, pulling back, soft, loose grip, we're letting the bell fall, okay? So let's really focus on kind of that connecting piece just to really clean up this technique since we're gonna see this as a constant over the next 4 weeks, okay? We have 15 more seconds. If you wanna go up in weight, now's your chance. And if you're using the max amount of weight that you have, but it doesn't feel like a solid 5, 6 out of 10, you can add a rep or 2 per side, okay? Let's go for it. Right arm, right leg staggers back. We got 3. So we inhale over, exhale, punch the shoulder, elbow back, glide it down. 2 more. Very nice. We'll switch sides. 3 more here. Make sure that weight stays on the front leg. Once you're done with your 3 and 3, we'll put a minute on the clock and we've got 1 more round. So this idea of keeping the work over the front leg. As I take my hinge, back heel should stay high, like I've got a stiletto on back there. So what we don't want is for that weight to start to drift backwards, okay? Most of your weight should be on this front leg, loading this front glute to really explode up. This is here for 2 reasons. Not only to get our nervous system a little more woken up, a little more fired, but also to create more space in the back of that hip. We're gonna move into our kickstand deadlifts right after this. So we really wanna make sure from a mobility standpoint, we're ready to load those up nice and heavy, okay? You've still got about 20 seconds left. So last opportunity to add some load here today. Again, if this is week 1, just play with figuring out the weight that feels like a nice solid 5, 6 out of 10, okay? If this is week 4, maybe you push it. Maybe you go for a little PR here, okay? There's no rules. This is all about what gets you ready for the bulk of your workout. Here we go, 3 on each side. I'm gonna let you vibe. Once you hit your 3 and 3, we are done with our power block. So where we're going from here are 2 strength supersets. This is gonna be a lower and an upper body exercise together. And we're gonna start with some kickstand deadlifts. So we want something 1 to 2 weights heavy here. We're gonna meet in the center and I will cue us right into it. All right, jumping into our strength block. So first superset, we're gonna start with a pause kickstand deadlift. That means we're gonna take a full pause at the bottom before we pop out of the hole. Throughout this program, we're gonna be playing with different angles, different tempos, planes of motion, so that we're really strong in all different movement qualities. So that being said, I would choose something that feels heavy but not crazy for this first round if it's your first week, and we can always build as we go. In terms of reps today, you're gonna see reps popped up on the screen based on what week you are in the program. I am always going to demo the max number of reps per side to make sure that you have time to get through everything. If you beat me there, you're just taking a little extra rest, okay? So let's start with this first exercise and then we'll move into what we're supersetting this with. We're gonna start in our kickstand position. From here, arms are locked in. We're taking a big inhale, holding at the bottom, exhale, exploding out of the hole. If you're using dumbbells, exact same mechanics. I do want this in more of a suitcase position so we can really get that backfired. So again, inhale, we take a hold at the bottom, exhale out of it, okay? We're gonna go again, your reps are on the screen. You will see if there's added load week to week, but let's go for it. So I'm gonna show max reps per side and we will meet on the floor for our upper body exercise. So big inhale, big stretch back, hold, exhale, explode out of the hole. Good, give me the rest of your reps. If you need to take a 30-second break between sides or up to that amount of time, you're always more than welcome to. I'm always gonna give it a sec just to make sure we're all on the same page. Otherwise, you can just keep flying on through and I will meet you on the floor for our upper body drill. Once you are done there, make your way down to the ground. So I'm gonna show kettlebell and dumbbell variations. We're coming into a half kneeling windmill press. So what this is gonna be is essentially a nice open angle to really challenge that shoulder. We're gonna start with the left leg up and we're opening up into that 45-degree angle. So we wanna make sure it's not like a full 90, okay? Back leg spiraled in. From here, we have a nice windmill position. So we're gonna drive the hips back, hand comes right next to that knee. I want palm out to the front. From here, we're trying to come down, elbow toward the hip, and back up. Inhale down, exhale up. To get out of it, we'll come up, re-rack other side. If you're using a kettlebell, the mechanics are actually exactly the same. It's just gonna be a little bit more challenging because most of the weight is back on that bell, okay? So what we wanna avoid here is the arm coming back behind us, also bicep curling too much. So we want this nice open angle. I would say to start, if you have not done this quite yet, start with a weight one step lower than you would strict press by standing, okay? You can always add weight as you go. And again, the reps recommended are gonna pop up on the screen depending on what week you're on, okay? So let's go for it. I'm gonna show dumbbell first round, second side I'll show kettlebell. So we've got left leg front, open to that 45 degrees. Back leg turns in, press the weight up, turn it to the front. From here we come down the thigh, hand right in front of that knee, booty back on the heel, open chest. Let's go for our reps. We inhale down, exhale up. Again, your reps might be different than mine. I'm doing the max reps that we'll do in this program. So if you finish before me, you can either go right to the other side or just take a breather. To get out of this, arm is up. We use the hips to extend, re-rack, other side. So right leg front, we open her up, spiral the back leg in, punch up, flip to the front. Here we go, trail down the leg, booty back to the heel, hand in front of that knee. Inhale down, exhale to push. I wanna hold them like they do in Texas, please. Once you're done there, we're gonna place a minute on the clock, and then we will all go back to the top. Really, really great work. So, as we're going into round 2, I want you to think about, especially based on where you are in this block, how does everything feel? What we're kind of looking for week to week is something between, with our strength block, a 7 to 8 intensity. So that means we should only have 2 or 3 reps left in the tank when we're at the end of each set, okay? So if you're not quite there, I would say adding load or adding weight is going to be, or adding load or adding reps is going to be your best option, okay? If you're in a week that, let's say, has 6 reps, but it's only feeling like a 6 out of 10, jump a week ahead, add 2 more. I want you guys to understand, based on your strength, your enjoyment, your equipment, how you can scale this workout over the full length of the program to still make it progressive based on where you're at, okay? So we got just under 10 seconds. We're gonna go round 2, kickstand deadlifts with that pause at the bottom. You've got your reps on the screen. I will meet you on the floor. Once you're done there, make your way down to the floor. I realized I did not show kettlebell variation last time, so I will do that for this round, and we're coming on into it. So, left leg on the ground. We open to 45, tuck in the back leg. Let's bring this weight up, palm to the front, slide it down the thigh, booty back, eyes on your bell. Here we go. Inhale down, exhale push. Go for your allotted reps of the week. Once you hit all your reps, minute on the clock, we'll regroup for one more round. Great job, everybody. So, final round here. You know the intensity we're looking for. You know the drill at this point. Let's chat a few form things really quickly, because by the time we get to this 3rd set, a lot of times we're like, let's just bang it out. Get through it as fast as we can. So obviously, first and foremost, make sure we're keeping that pause. My arms at the bottom, especially as we get heavier weights. A lot of times what you start to see people do is get the biceps involved, and start to curl those weights. So instead of thinking of using your biceps to hold the weights, really let's think of the lats. I like to puff open my chest, leading with the tailbone, stiletto on that back foot, just like we talked about in our power drill, okay? With the half kneeling presses. Open chest, same thing, wide elbow angle. So we want to avoid getting that bicep curl in there. No biceps today, okay? So we got less than 10. Let's go for our final round. I will meet you on the floor. Again, take breaks between sides as needed. You can always hit that pause button. I would rather you meet yourself where you're at than rush through with crap form, okay? Very nice job. All right, make your way down to the ground when you're done there. We're gonna start with that left side. So left leg front, open 45, tuck in 45, press that palm to the front, bring it down and back. Let's go. Ooh, all right, we are done with our first superset. So we're moving into our second superset. Here's what we're gonna need. We are gonna do some front lunges. So 1 to 2 weights that feels challenging for you in that position. We're also gonna be doing some head supported rows. So we want something that we would bilaterally row with. It might be the same weight you use for your front lunges. In terms of head supported, I'm gonna be propping up the back of my incline bench, and I'm gonna put a little pad on top because it's pretty hard. If you don't have something like that, the side of your sofa works perfectly too, okay? So let's regroup. We'll grab those items and we'll meet back. All right, jumping into our second superset. So same thing, we're gonna start with a lower body exercise, make our way into an upper body exercise, and your reps per week are going to be popped on the screen here. We're starting with a reverse lunge. We are gonna do each number of reps per side. So just like the kickstand deadlifts, we're not gonna alternate. We're gonna do all of them on one side, break as needed, and then on the other. Weights are held low here. We're gonna come forward, tapping that knee to the ground if we can, push back off. My breath, I'm inhaling forward, exhale to come back up, okay? If your weights don't feel great low for whatever reason, you can also rack it up high. I will say it's gonna be a little bit more fatiguing on your core and your arms, but that's also a nice option if you're limited on weight. So your reps are on the screen. Let's hop right into this guy. We take an inhale forward, exhale, push back up. Good. Keeping that nice upright torso, really digging into the big toes on both legs. Once you hit all your reps on one side, take a shake out as needed. I want you to really think about that intensity we're looking for. 7 to 8 out of 10, okay? So only 2 to 3 reps left in the tank per side. Let's go to the second side and I'll meet you for our rows. Very nice work. Once you're done there, we're gonna flip it around. We've got our head supported row. So it's gonna be both arms at the same time, and we got a little pad on top if you need it. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna hinge it back, and I've got my head supported on my bench, and I'm really thinking of stretching back through my tailbone, okay? So what this is gonna do is gonna take some of the work out of the low back to hold us upright. My arms are down by my side. I'm gonna narrow that base just so my arms can come to the sides, rowing back and down, back and down. If for whatever reason it feels better to take a wider base, row inside the legs, totally fine. And again, if for whatever reason this does not work for you, you can always just go for your normal bent over row. We're gonna go for the reps on the screen, you guessed it. Say we will meet back for our break. Once we are done there, catch your breath. We're gonna put a minute on the clock, and we've got 2 more rounds here. So let's really think about, in terms of weight selection, how this is feeling. So again, whether this is week 1, we're just trying to set our baseline, or week 4, we're really trying to push it, empty the tank, think about where that leaves you with the reps recommended for your week, okay? In terms of our form, let's really make sure for that front lunge that we're not losing that torso positioning. So a lot of times to decelerate, we start to lose it at the spine as well. That might be a sign that your weights are a little bit too heavy. With the bent over rows, a lot of times what I start to see is this. We start tucking the tailbone under. We get into this like gremlin position. I want you to puff open your chest, shine your tailbone to the back wall, okay? So thinking really, really tall in both of these positions here. Let's get set up for our front lunges again. We've got our reps per side. You can take up to 30 seconds rest between sides, even if it's just a shakeout for your grip, all right? Let's go for it. Very nice work. Once you're done there, switch your weights as needed. We'll make our way over to our head supported row. Whew. That definitely gets pretty aerobic by the end. So don't be afraid to take that rest in between sides. I don't want the aerobic capacity to be the thing that makes you suffer, okay? Here we go. So narrow stance, arms on the outside, find that nice supported hinge. Puff open the chest, shine the tailbone to the back wall. Go for your reps. Once you're done there, we'll put a minute on the clock, and we've just got one more round before we jump into our core finisher, okay? So we're almost into that home stretch. Let's talk form in this last little bit. So again, the instinct is to rush through this last set. I want you, if anything, to milk it. Make that the mindset as we go in. So I'm pulling my armpits down against my sides like I'm holding $100 bills under here. Big inhale. Dig into your big toes. As you push up, think of zipping up your midline like you're trying to pinch your thighs together. If we can get that center of gravity really strong, you're gonna have a lot less stability issues, and we're gonna get all those stabilizing muscles to help us. Inner thighs, obliques, our core in general, okay? So that's gonna be our main focus for this last round, just really making sure we're milking it, we're not rushing, we're getting everything we can out of this last set, whether it's your first or your fourth week here. Okay? You got your reps on the screen. Let's go for it. I will meet you for our rows. Once you're done there, give your arms a break, change out your weights as needed. Whew. All right, we got one final round of rows. So you've got your reps on the screen. I want you to make sure you're not milking it to get out of the position sooner. I would rather you stand up and take a shakeout if you feel like your low back is starting to get involved than just rush through your reps, okay? So we're getting that full elbow back, full stretch at the front. Let's go for it. Once you are done there, we are done with this superset. So all we have left is our core finisher at the end. We are just gonna need a bench or chair, flip it on down if you've taken it up to an incline, and I will meet you there. All right, so our core finisher is gonna be a little anti-rotational drill. In this program, we have an entire rotational series, which is very commonly neglected in traditional strength training. But in this block right now, we are gonna focus on a little bit more of that anti-movement to strengthen our core. So we're gonna have 3 rounds here, 3 different levels or variations. So if this is your first week, I want you to use today just to establish your baseline. If this is your second, third, or fourth week, I want you to see if you can take a progression right off the bat since you've been through this before. Okay, so we're gonna start with progression number 1. This is just gonna be a shoulder tap hold. Legs are nice and wide. Hands are forward on our bench. Hips are down and forward. So we got that nice stiletto position with the heels. All I'm gonna do here is take one hand to the opposite shoulder and hold. What I'm doing is resisting, rotating my hips. So I'm thinking of pushing my hip bone down to the ground. The wider your legs, the more support you're gonna have. We're gonna hold this for 15 seconds on one side, no break, 15 seconds on the other, 30 seconds rest between rounds, and then we'll go for this 2 more times. You're either gonna be able to stay with that first progression or you're gonna jump ahead, okay? Let's go for it. So we find our stable base, nice wide legs. Let's start with the left hand going to the right shoulder in 3, 2, and 1. Resist that rotation. I'm pushing the bench away with my right arm. Hips are down and forward. Good. 5 more seconds, then we switch. And switch those arms, right hand to the left shoulder. Push that right hip down. Weight is forward, off the heels. Lengthen that gaze out on top of your bench or chair. We have 3, 2, 1. Take 30 seconds. Great job, everybody. You rest. I'm going to show you option number 2. So we're already here in our shoulder tap hold. In this position, you're gonna have the option to narrow your base with your legs and then just hover that back leg, okay? So in this variation, I've got right arm lifted, left leg lifted. If you'd rather stick with level 1, that's where you're at today, okay? Let's set up our base of choice. Here we go in 3, in 2, and 1. Right arm to the shoulder. Option to hover that left leg. Good. If you're in this level 2 variation, you want the legs closer together. If you're not, you want the legs further apart. We're gonna switch to the opposite side in 3, 2, and 1. So now left hand to right shoulder. Hover that right leg if you want a little added challenge. We got 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. So in that variation, you probably felt a little bit more inner thigh, okay? Variation number 3, the last way you can progress this. We're gonna go back to a slightly wider base, and instead of lifting and touching the shoulder, we're actually gonna press hand into that thigh, okay? So you're gonna get a little bit more hip flexor right here, and we're resisting crunching in and rotating. So now we've got a few different ways that we're resisting rotation and movement at the spine. Here we go. Right arm to left shoulder or right hand to the knee. Good. 15 seconds here. If you're in this knee push variation, you're actively pushing. And switch sides. We got 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Great work today, everybody. So that is the first part of your functional strength workout. We do have a part 2 that's gonna come later in the week, and we're basically just gonna fill in the gaps of anything that we missed today. So if you have any questions, as always, leave them below, and I will see you in the next one.